My father-in-law keeps stealing my food, but somehow I'm the unreasonable one.
Take him out.
Thief in the night. I've been taking some time to reflect on this situation, and I want to know if I may have overreacted. While I was pregnant, my in-laws invited me to stay with them while my husband worked in a very remote area, approximately 4.5 hours from the nearest hospital. By the way, this comes from user FormalDonut5563 on the r/okstorytime subreddit. I didn't know my in-laws terribly well, and my husband and I felt it would be better for me to be around family while pregnant. Before I moved in, we asked several times if we could contribute to rent and food, and my mother-in-law insisted that we save for our family, which I honestly am still very grateful for. It was a huge help and relief. Yes, W mother-in-law. While living with them, I would buy myself separate meals occasionally because I was very sick throughout my pregnancy and had several food aversions and triggers that would cause me to uncontrollably barf. These meals would be things like plain rice and chicken in very small portions because overeating would also cause me to barf. I don't know why. I just want to say that instead of
I know. It just feels
vomit.
so
Just
like,
sounds like
visceral. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I feel bad for Opie. That's a rough pregnancy.
That is a super rough pregnancy.
Yeah.
I always labeled this food, my food, in the fridge with my name and felt that it was okay because my mother-in-law and father-in-law commonly labeled their special snacks with mom or dad.
They're special snacks.
Separate note, my mother-in-law and father-in-law had cabinets as well that was full of junk food no one else was able to have until upon request. They had a cabinet full of untouchable
Special
junk food.
Yeah.
Don't touch my untouchable junk food.
And they had like brownies in there. Couldn't touch it. They said,
weird-
don't touch it.
They said, don't do that.
No.
Anyways, at times I would go into the fridge and notice that my entire meal that I had set aside was gone. I wasn't accusatory at first and let it go, but this pattern continued, and there would be times I would walk in to my father-in-law eating the food that I had prepared, or he was giving it to another kid in the house. What?
Why?
I don't know. I honestly didn't even know what to say the first few times it happened, which is, that's the same thing with us.
I'm so confused.
We're just
it's
like,
got your name on it.
This? The first time I did speak up about it, I remember being a bit frustrated because I had just come back home from lap swimming and felt lightheaded and was counting on being able to eat my safe meal, only to come back home and discover that the plain pasta that was prepared, he had been feeding to kids in the house.
What?
That one I understand a little bit better.
I don't know, but like the thing is,
Plain pasta is child food.
yeah, well, she's also
sure.
saying like rice and chicken, which is also like, you can feed to kids and stuff. But these are also things that on his end are very easy to prepare.
Yeah, that's actually
like
a great
pasta
point.
is so easy to
That is such a good
prepare.
point,
Why does he
yeah.
feel the need to take the food?
I asked him directly if that was the food for me, and he mumbled, "Oh, sorry." And I didn't respond. I feel like I should have been direct at that moment, but I honestly grabbed an apple and went in and cried in my room. No. We always prefer
sad.
direct confrontation
Yeah,
instead of you
just get it
crying
over with.
alone. Shortly after this, a couple weeks later, I had brought Oreos because a friend of mine came over to watch Twilight and her favorite cookies were Oreos. I could only have about 1 or 2 at the time and labeled them with a note that said my name and please ask before eating. Truthfully, I really wasn't too interested in the Oreos until after I had given birth because it was too upsetting for my stomach to eat them. When I finally did go to enjoy some cookies, all of them were gone when it was nearly full when I put it in the pantry. So it was empty and they put it back in the pantry.
That is diabolical.
Boo this man.
Diabolical.
At this point, I did take it out and asked in the kitchen who had eaten the Oreos. My in-laws were all eating dinner at the time, and my father-in-law spoke and said that he had had some, and I responded with, "Can you please ask next time beforehand?" My mother-in-law then responded, I feel, possibly defending him, because she stated that, "Oh, those cookies have been in there forever anyways." I said nothing after that point because I felt like I had said enough, and I left. The next day, my father-in-law returns home with a package of Oreos and apologizes, which at first I felt was genuine. Oh, that's not a good sign. I opened the pack and got a Ziploc bag and put 3 or 4 cookies in it, and he's watching me do this and states, quote, "You need to make sure to leave half of the pack because you had already eaten half when I had some.
What? Okay, I'm really
that doesn't
kind
even
of
make sense.
That's so silly. I'm really curious about what their financial state is, because why are you so strict on these Oreos, father-in-law? Like, why are you like, oh, you ate some, so instead of me getting 2 packs of Oreos so that I can have some Oreos, he's like, I gotta watch you and make sure you don't eat all of this 1 pack I bought, you know?
Yeah, but also it's like those weren't
yours to begin with.
Yeah, you ate that wasn't yours.
And then your gift that you're giving to this person now has like, you're taking some of your gift.
You like extended an olive branch and then you lit it on fire.
Yeah, literally just buy 2 packets of Oreos.
Yeah, what is...
Why not?
What is with this guy? This comment, I'll admit, really frustrated me, and I put all the cookies back that I had in the Ziploc because I felt like it was a backhanded apology. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but his apology just felt insincere, like he felt like he shouldn't have to ask for the meals I set aside or apologize in the first place. Later, after I had time to cool down, I did respond with a message that I really just wanted him to ask before taking something that I had bought, or at least not eat all of it. It's literally just the principle of just ask me.
Yeah, come on.
Just ask.
That's the thing. It's like, it's not even a sign saying don't eat it or like don't touch. It's saying ask before eating.
Ask me first.
Just say, hey, can I have an Oreo?
Crazy. This message really bothered my in-laws, and they have made remarks to my husband that I made such a big deal over Oreos and that I was living in their house rent-free eating their food. Oh my God. You offered to do that. Snakes in the grass.
This is the way that they give gifts. The first gift of, oh, you can live in our house rent-free, and now they're bringing that back.
And then they dangle
and then
it
they
over
get
your
the
head
Oreos.
later.
And then the back package of Oreos, and they're like, oh, well, you can't eat all of it. They just dangle their gifts.
The little dangler.
And then they take them away.
Notably, my father-in-law seemed especially offended and made remarks that I was sleeping in the house that he built and pays electricity for, and the house he keeps warm. During a conversation about this incident with me living rent-free in their house and eating the food they provided, my husband responded with, quote, you guys didn't have a boundary on the food in the house, but my wife did have a boundary on the meals she bought and prepared. That's the difference. Boom!
Yeah.
Both my mother-in-law and father-in-law have continued to bring this up to my husband over a year later, and it's honestly made me feel torn. While I'm very grateful for them for opening their home to me, I've honestly never had a recurrent situation like this. I grew up in foster care, and it wasn't irregular for us foster kids to receive an allowance and have our own foods by ourselves. And by the way, we never want you to have anything by yourself. We want you to have it with us when we go live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Tap it.
And you can be with us.
Yeah. At least the husband is standing, because I was kind of wondering what his role in this place was the whole time, why he wasn't standing up for it, but he is.
Immediately stood on business.
Yeah, immediately was like,
hey,
shut
you
up.
ding dong, here's the difference. She prepared those just for her.
Yeah. And you said we could live in your house. So
I wish he would have brought that up, because that's crazy.
Yeah.
For them to just be like, the house I built and the electricity and the warmth, which it's like, dude.
Yeah.
You said we could live here.
Literally said we could live here. And it's, I mean, if they had at the beginning when they asked, when they said, oh, OP and, the husband can live there. If they had said, hey, we need your help preparing food and stuff and like grocery bills or whatever, that would have been different. But that was never a conversation that was brought up.
Yeah. They're just acting like it's like, oh, like she's so high and mighty, like she won't let anyone touch her food.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, she was like violently pregnant.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe that.
Pregnant.
Like she can't eat any food without yakking.
Yeah.
Like she's making these little pregnancy meals for herself, and they want to act like that's her being like, oh, look at me. I'm so much better than everyone else with my food that I label.
No, it's ridiculous.
They got a complex for sure. While I understand every family is different and operates on separate dynamics and standards, I really felt like it was okay to distinguish my meals or treats because I had witnessed my father-in-law and mother-in-law do the same thing with their snack cabinets. Am I the a-hole for being upset? My father-in-law kept eating my food. Edit. My mother-in-law invited me to live with them when they learned of my husband's remote job location. Double edit. I do not live with my in-laws anymore, but they have brought up their grievances to my husband since we have left their home. That's absurd. These people will not leave a thing alone.
Yeah, they're like, I'm going to keep talking about this forever. It is the most interesting thing in my life.
Remember when your wife made me feel dumb for eating her Oreos?
Remember when she was trying to hog all the Oreos and I just wanted 1 or 10 of them?
Real nasty. Just your big, fat, pregnant wife who likes to barf all over the place decided that we were too good for her
the
Oreos.
Oreo queen.
And she didn't even eat them for months.
Yeah, they probably were stale, though.
At that point, I'd be like, are you guys okay? Do you guys need
therapy?
Do you need assistance? So we left very shortly after I gave birth. My in-laws got a nasty bug, unfortunately. And my husband and I needed our own space with a baby at that point. Well, hey, it sounds like that's perfect, you know? You're not in the house anymore. You weren't even in the house immediately after the pregnancy. It's more just I think just asking for clarification on if you were the a-hole, and I don't think you were. I think there's something weird going on with the mother-in-law and father-in-law.
Yes, I totally agree.